Well, stocks are under pressure all session long. And, to a degree, it's a natural reaction after the kind of monster run that we've seen off those March lows. Coming into the week, in fact, I felt that these major indices they would have to test former resistance, go down and test it as support before maybe you can get the next big move in this rally. I want to bring in Walser Wealth Management President Rebecca Walser. Rebecca, just your thoughts. I mean, obviously, we knew we were going to have a session like this. I actually thought we were going to buckle after the Congress didn't pass stimulus the first time. So this ride has been remarkable, but where do we go from here?
Yeah, Charles, this is unprecedented. We're kind of like waffling in the wind with no clear direction because, as you can see, that there are starting to be effects from the government stimulus wearing off, and the fact that we are not reopened, just like your previous guest just talked about. There's so many hodgepodge policies all across the country. There's no consistency. And unfortunately, I think a lot of government officials locally want to stay closed for their own political reasons, keeping the economy sort of, stymied. So if we don't get additional government stimulus, and we don't get back to work, it's not going to look pretty, Charles.
What you said, I mean, I agree with you, but it's a real despicable situation to think that you would put politics ahead of the things that, like you said, Melba's interview was heart-wrenching. I want to ask you about the CBO because I know you care about these things. And listen, the U.S. deficit now apparently going to hit $3.3 trillion, and it's the highest level of debt to GDP since World War II. We know a lot of this, obviously, from the shutdown. But what do you think? Is that actually starting to influence this market, or do we have I wouldn't say a free pass, but an easier go of it because of these ultra-low interest rates?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely think that we don't have the rates that we had back in the 40s with World War II. And obviously, we need those low rates right now. And in fact, the government, we talked about the Federal Reserve before changing their target or letting themselves have a pass instead of automatically raising rates. And that's why, because they can't afford to raise rates with such a large debt. So we have a pass right now, Charles, just because of the stimulus necessary for the economic recovery during a global shutdown. But like your previous guest said when Keith was on, we can't have a shutdown that will last 2 years and we don't have a virus, we don't have a vaccine. We've got to get back to work. We've got to reopen. And I don't care about the politics either. Let's get back to work. You're right.
Let's get back to work. Let's open the schools and let us thrive. We know how to do it. Thank you very much. As always,
Charles.
Rebecca, appreciate it. Cheryl Casoni's